Oh! Oh, there's some flowers. You're like, oh!
Because you're taking the focus off of the video.
Oh,
if they want to do video and photography.
I'm drunk. I'm kind of horny. So how about, Eric, we do another one? And welcome back to part 3 of the review. No, what are we doing? Rant. Tonight, Dom is drinking gin straight. This is a lovely gin from Scotland. Oh, I love gin. Gin from Scotland called Cowron. It's actually pronounced Caron. Caroon, that's what it is.
Caron, all right.
Caroon.
If I had something right now, I would join you, but I drank all mine recently.
Gin on the rocks. That's how I like my gin. Okay, so now I'm a bit loose. Let the ranting commence. So hi everyone. Yeah, so hi everyone. This is part 3 of Dom and Eric's new rant 2015, or the next one that we're going for here. You've seen the last videos. You know Eric. We don't need to introduce each other. Done. Okay, so Eric, this argument. It's not an argument, it's a discussion. I'm sure you agree with me on this. Is just, oh my god, beginners, also known in the internet as noobs, doing wedding photography. That gives me a lot of fear for many reasons. Does it give you any fear?
There's a distinction I want to make. Wedding photography is a broad term. What are they doing? If they're second shooting, if they're assisting, or if they're learning, totally fine. If you're going out there as a professional, as a noob, not a lot of experience, you don't really know what to do to pose and everything like that, holy hell, that's the exact base I get.
Yeah, I've not drunk it straight for a long time. I think I might need to go get myself some juice to go with it. In fact, I'll be back in a minute.
I'll just sit here for a minute then. I don't know if he'll use this or not, but we'll see. I'll just sit here and wait.
And I'm back with a little bit of orange juice into this.
I was gonna do a little dance thing. But you came back way too quick.
Oh, damn rude.
Copyrighted music.
Don't.
Damn it. It did not come up. I guess we have to pick back up from where you were.
Right. Okay. Hi everyone. I'm back with a better drink. This is Caroon gin and some orange juice. We're talking about noobs doing weddings. Total danger. Eric's just came across with a great point of talking about. It's different if you're doing second shooting or assisting. Totally agree. No, that's 100%. I say that's how
encourage that
you should do. However, second shooting and being an assistant, a lot of the shots you're going to be going around is kind of getting natural reactions, maybe table decorations, lighting. Stuff like that. The whole activity of being a wedding photographer from start to finish is such a massive job and requires so much kind of delicate manipulation because you can't be too pushy and you can't be taking too much time in organising everything. You've got to be fast and fluent with everything that you do. That sometimes like you've got to be a second shooter on a number of weddings before you can before you kind of go, I'm gonna go it alone. I would say in my own case, I became fully fluent in photography. I became fluent in taking flash photos with flash, and I'd done macro, I'd done landscape, I'd done portraits, I'd done fashion. And then I had a family member saying, hey Dom, will you take my wedding photos? I was like, okay, that's a bit nervous. But at the same time, I'd had all the skills from all the other different levels of photography, or all the different aspects of photography. That going into that wedding, I was like, okay, that's cool. And there wasn't too much stress or pressure because it's family kind of thing. And then from there, that's where it progressed from there. But if you're kind of going, hey, how do I, what's the difference between RAW and JPEG? I'm doing a wedding next weekend. You're going to go, oh, really? You're doing a wedding? And even worse is going, oh yeah, we've charged them £2,000 for a wedding. And you're going, okay, what camera are you shooting? What multiple camera setups? Like, oh, I've got one Nikon D3000. And you're going to go, where's your backup camera? Where's your backup memory cards? Where are your backup flashes, backup batteries? Oh no, it's just going to use the one camera. Like, oh, disaster.
My main question is, how the hell did you get them to give you so much money easily like that?
I know.
With no work, no website, nothing.
As there's somebody who did a major business and marketing degree.
I need a drink now. I need a freaking drink now. But yeah, that's who we're tackling right here. The ones who are first shooting without barely any experience, and there's no portfolio, and somehow they get these jobs. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
Which I'm sure some people in the comments down below will be talking about, oh, you're just jealous because these people are getting jobs and you're not. But at the same time, if people are getting these jobs who aren't qualified for doing this job, are potentially ruining the something reputation. That's the word I was looking for. Jen was in the way. Ruining the reputation for other photographers. So you come on and say, oh yeah, I'm a pro, I can shoot this and that, and then your photos are no better than what somebody's point and shoot are. Or if you kind of go, yeah, I did it, I had no backup and my camera died, then that's a major issue. And also, like, if you're like I'm not a wedding photographer. I'm a photographer that can do weddings. That's how I differentiate myself. So if I have friends, will I do their wedding if they say, Dom, we want you to do it? Because there is a relaxed atmosphere of having your friend do a wedding, instead of having a stranger kind of in the room while people are getting changed kind of stuff. That's a bit odd. But people know that I am fully fluent with cameras. I know how to work them. I know how to get some good shots and all that kind of stuff. I know I've taken 2 good photos in my life. So they're like, Dom, you've taken 2. We want to book you. Absolutely fine, not a problem. But to have potential clients who you could have a total bridezilla on your hands, dealing with that is one of the most horrific things in your life.
That's a whole nother thing you should learn.
Oh, God, yeah,
that should be a course or class or something.
Or not even bridezillas, but bridezilla mother-in-laws.
Oh, that's another thing.
That can, or uncles and aunties that go, I think I know photography better than you do. And I will tell you how to do everything. You're like, no.
I got my camera, Dom.
Oh, yeah. Or have you taken that photo 15 times? There's wedding photography is what I would consider to be the Formula One of if you can do wedding photography professionally, day after day, or you don't have to do it day after day, you are making serious dollars, but also at the same time you have to be on your game so hard, so awesome at it, to not be dealing with shit day after day afterwards. That's the kind of thing.
And that's the thing. It's not just the shooting. It's the business. It's the marketing. It's the editing. Editing, I mean, I edit my own weddings. 1, because I like more money. 2, because, that's 3 fingers. 2, because I don't, I have to hire someone I trust. But there you go. That's number 1. Thank you for being a number 1 fan. But I have to trust my editor. I like the way I edit certain images. Do I go absolutely crazy? No, I like them a little more, punchier and contrasty, and the white balance has to be a certain way. And each photo, to me, for the most part, is edited a little differently, all depending on how I feel. I might want this one in sepia or black and white. I don't really use sepia, but this one's a black and white. Some might look cool, like a matted look. There's all that trust that has to go into knowing all of that stuff. If you're shooting a wedding as the first shooter, you're basically almost the wedding planner. You are the time organizer. Absolutely. You have to get these photos in between 2 p.m. to 2:15 p.m., no later than that. Then we got to get to the reception hall. It's all this stuff that you don't know as a noob, a new photographer, that if you're just jumping into this, like you said, you're going to ruin the reputation. It's just like, why the hell did I pay a photographer, in air quotes, $2,000.
Yeah, yeah. No,
That's the stigma that comes out from something like this when it shouldn't be that way.
it's a lot of the times whenever I'm doing any sort of weddings, my main contact is actually if there has been a wedding planner or if there is a venue coordinator. You're dealing with them so much about timings, about places, about angles, about all this kind of stuff, which if you're just kind of go, I've got a camera, what do I do? You're like, oh, you need to know how to communicate with the manager of the place to get the lights to go on at that time and all that kind of stuff. Or even knowing that it's cool to just say, right, bride, stay outside of the room until I get the shot of this one, and then you come in and I'll get that shot of you coming in. So you have to fully explain to the bride or the groom the shots that you're going to be doing before you do it, so that they're not kind of going, wait, where are we going? What are we doing? You know, you can't have that confused bunny in the headlights.
You have to be in control. Essentially, I totally agree. And, you know, to go on your point about being in contact with the event coordinator, the manager, I remember I went to a place that was like 3 hours away, and it's tough for me just to drive out there. And it was kind of like a last minute wedding thing where their photographer backed out and they, you know, someone recommended all that kind of stuff. So I couldn't get to the venue. I mean, it was kind of unrealistic. It was too far. Yeah. So I was essentially going to go on, you know, the wedding day. But this is another thing. You have to learn to do research. Go onto this website that you see, oh, this is where you shoot. Because I remember I found some things like, oh, okay, this is a cool part of the park, something like that when you get there. But the manager knows other things. Like I remember I shot a wedding at this mansion, very popular place, you know, from where I was near. And they had this historic piano that I didn't know about because you don't know about it. And he's like, have the bride hop up on here. So it's that little inside information. Yeah, but apparently like they do that a lot type of thing. Yeah. But it's just a cool little dynamic that you wouldn't get otherwise. So it's just that inside information you can get. You just have to know that stuff. You have to be that personable. You have to be that knowledgeable to go to that venue and keep in touch. Oh, and the last thing I want to say, if your contact is the bride on your wedding day, punch yourself in the face. Your contact should not be the bride whatsoever. If anything, you know, the groom or the groom's father, I'd say. If anything, the worst part, emergency situation, the groom, because they're a little more relaxed than the bride, but never, ever the bride.
I have a document which I email out to any couple that are getting married, and on the document I need to know, okay, who is the bride, who is the groom? Okay, simple. Who is the bride's mum? Who is the bride's dad? Who is the groom's dad? Who is the groom's mum? Who is the best man? The ushers, the bridesmaids. I need to know all of them, all of their names, because a lot of the time is if I'm coordinating anything, I will not be telling the bride to do anything. I will not be telling the groom to do anything. I'll be telling the best man. I don't know if in America you've got a different term. We call best man. Okay, cool. I would say like best man, or they have ushers. So it's like the guys that just usher people around. I will be like, right guys, find granny, this person, this person, this person, this auntie and uncle, because we need to get this shot. So they become my servants, my bitches for the day. But at the same time, it's like, I need to know who they are. And it's not a case of, hey, groom, who's this guy? Oh, he's your brother. Oh, right, is he the best man? You cannot be finding out shit out on the actual day. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's totally terrible. Yeah.
and especially if you're in a shooting in locations which may have difficulty. So if you're shooting in a place with very low light, so if you're shooting in a castle, it's like, holy shit, you need to be on your game with understanding flash, understanding how flash bounces, flash temperature, color temperatures of all your photos. Weddings are something which you can't necessarily shoot to edit afterwards. The editing that you're doing afterwards with weddings is the minutia, not going, oh, I totally ruined the contrast and the white balance and all this stuff. It's like you're doing cropping, straighting, and all that kind of stuff, white balance, you know, minor amounts. But if you're kind of going, oh, I totally blew away the groom's face with a flash next to his face and the bride is in his shadow, that's not going to work. That's not.
You literally only get one shot, and this is why you need to trust a second shooter. This is why you need to know what you're doing. You need to know the coverage, what you need. Like you'll see the rhythm of a wedding. I mean, I haven't shot hundreds of weddings. Trust me, I wish I had. But you know, I've shot enough that I'm very, very comfortable that you know the rhythm of the day. Yeah, like that. You know. You know the rhythm of the day. You know when the kiss is about to come. You know when after they're done the vows and everything like that. You know when certain things are going to happen with a couple little things where you have to, go with on the fly. But you just have to know how to shoot, because if you miss the kiss, you miss the ring, you miss something, you can't go back and shoot it later. And like you said, if you totally kill someone with flash, that moment is ruined. And that's a staple shot for a wedding. Like if you don't get that, does it necessarily totally kill the entire day? No, but you're also charging a premium.
But it also means that if you're the photographer and you realize, I fucked that one up, you've got that pressure, extra pressure on you for the rest of the day as well. So it's a lot of pressure on you. So I think anybody going into wedding photography and thinking, hey, this is easy, you're like, no.
Oh, there's a lot of money. This must be super simple.
Yeah, it's a serious amount of pressure and it's a lot of work. Because what I normally say is, like, if a wedding is a 10-hour shoot, the editing of the photos will be 20 hours of editing. And the biggest thing about the editing, it's not like I will do all the editing in 2 days, because what happens is you also get editing blindness. I don't know if there's a specific term for this, but sometimes you just edit, and then you go away, you come back and go, holy shit, I've exposed this, or I've given this way too much saturation, I've just become blind to saturation. So it's something which you need to come back to day after day, like do 2 hours, come back another day, 2 hours, come back another day. So it easily takes like 10 days of actual 2 hours editing each day to get to that. And then when they go, brilliant, I like these photos, now can you make my album? The album itself, that's at least another 15 to 20 hours of getting that sort of...
And constant phone calls back and forth. Hey, do you like this style, this style, this style, or this style? And that is interesting, because you're probably going to pull out a little bit of a stack. But yeah, that's totally the case. There's that extra stuff that goes into it. And then it's the coordinating of the prints and everything and all that kind of sort. And like, which look do you want? Oh, brand spanking new? Are these brand new, or are these just in bubble wrap?
Just bubble wrap. These are my kind of examples. But yeah, you've got them also like, oh, what if I get them bigger or smaller? And just like, oh, what's the font I use for this kind of stuff? And like, what is the front page picture going to be the best and all that kind of stuff? And it's the actual, like, if you're saying, hey, I'm a wedding photographer, and if you are not making, like, really good, like, layouts of that, like, if you're using just, like, the ones which are, like, the pre-made layouts, that's not really going to cut it these days. You're having to really work and like, just getting, like, triple photos and knowing where like maybe a triple would work well instead of a double, or like a full page spread, or here where it's just like, it's shoes, it's details, it's all that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, you can do that in like one page instead of all that, and then it's the bride and her father, like close up and all that. This is that still smells new. That still smells new. That smells good. New wedding albums.
There you go.
Oh, it smells good. That's what you're paying for.
Start bottling that up and sell them.
Damn right, I would actually. That's pretty good. But yeah, so it's for people that, hey, I've got a Nikon D3000. I'm a wedding photographer. You're like, no, be everything else beforehand, and then do a friend's for cheap. Do not start going, I'm a full-time wedding photographer. Like, I have full-on 100% respect for, like, I whenever Kim and I were getting married, we went to, like, the wedding expo kind of thing. Yeah. And I met a couple of photographers, and they're like, oh, you're Don Bauer. And I'm like, yes, I am. They're like, oh, we watch you on YouTube. And I'm like, that's awesome. And then I was thinking, do they think I'm a dick? Probably they do. Yeah, but let's see how that goes. But at the same time, I was just like, dude, like, you do weddings every weekend. That is, like, well done. Yeah, just like massive respect to wedding photographers for that kind of stuff.
I mean, but once again, that's what you dedicate your time to. And I know someone who lives in New York. He does 70 weddings a year.
What?
70 weddings. That means he's not only shooting one on a Saturday, he's shooting multiple times Saturday and Sunday.
Holy shit. When does he do his editing? That must, like, the amount of effort of editing for all that. And
he outsources his editing.
Oh, thank fuck for. Well, I suppose that's where he loses a lot of
Yeah.
his own kind of cash flow kind of thing going on there.
Yeah, but I know his price point is
okay. Right, okay. Now, next bit. Okay, let's push this to the next bit. What? So you've done a couple of weddings. How many are you? What's your?
I'm at around 15 weddings.
I think you and I are probably around about the same area on numbers.
And trust me, I would love to do more, but I have to pay the bills more or less. So I do have, full-time job plus doing this. But hell, if I could specifically just shoot weddings, I actually enjoy it. Yeah, it's annoying to edit and all that kind of stuff, but it's fun. But yeah, so it's not a bad thing. I hate the stigma of that. Like it's just like, oh, it's must be boring. You get part of the family. It's actually really fun. I can get passionate about it. I like telling you tell the story throughout the day for these people.
It's if you can, like if you've got that personality and you've got that connection with the people that you're doing, but if you're ever dealing with somebody who doesn't quite connect, you would rather eat a bowl of nails than do that. Okay, so now the next question I always say is what annoys us about wedding photography in general. So not just about noobs doing wedding photography in general. What would you say?
To me, the first thing that would have to stick out is the family jumping in the way. So what I mean is, it actually, once again, you are the time manager. You have that 15 minutes to get this group shot of her side, of the groom's side, all that kind of stuff, everyone together, the 30 group shot or whatever you're trying to do, the 2 shot, blah, blah, blah. But it's then as you're setting everyone up, that aunt with the camera right over there is like, hey, Juliana, look here first. I'm like, I need to do my photo first. But it's these aunts and uncles who bring their own camera, which whatever, totally do it. That's fine. I don't care. You can enjoy the day. You're not being paid there. I am. But that step in your way and just go crazy. And it's just like, Anna, dude, move. I got to do my job type of thing. Yeah. But that's one thing. We set up the shots. You go through all the effort. And you're not even the first one, unless you know how to talk to someone, which you'll develop, to get the shot. It's absolutely annoying.
Definitely, I don't think I've experienced that one too much. But one which I have is more kind of like that, but it is the person going, "Oh, why aren't you taking the photo in that direction?" Right? Who are you? Like, I'm the auntie. You're like, that's great. I'm taking the photo in this direction. I don't want that as the background. I want this as the background. Who are you? Are you professional? No, go away. Or now here's another one which may be different between the two of us here. Is the cliche fad photos. So one of the big ones. Okay. I'm not dissing anyone on this one, but one thing I don't like doing is the reservoir dog shoot. So it's all the grooms walking together down the street. Yeah. Gotcha. I'm not pro that. I'm like, that's done in every single wedding album I've ever seen. It's just so common every place. There's other ones where, or the one which I despise at the moment is the fantastic one of everyone, let's run away from a pretend thing, and then you Photoshop a dinosaur into the background, or a nuclear explosion, or something like that. I'm just going, that's so tacky and shit. Like, really, you don't need to do that. You don't need to. Okay, I'm gonna rip myself here on this one. For this lovely couple, we this one was Babs and Joe. Babs and Joe will love this one. We almost went reservoir dogs, but we didn't do the walking. That's the main thing. So we've got them all standing in a group there, and then we had them cuddling and making funny poses, and then we had Joe doing a kind of curtsy at the front. It was funny. We were laughing. It was great fun. The walking, I was actually an usher for a friend of mine's wedding, and we had to do the reservoir dog walk. And we were all just like, this is so gay. This is just like this. This is like, really, are we actually doing this? Oh dear God, we are actually doing this. So it may just be different cultures, different things, but I see it so much. There's so many fad things which will age a wedding photographer's portfolio so quickly.
Ready?
That
I'm going to say one that'll blow your mind.
Okay,
or not blow your mind. You're going to go, oh my Jesus Christ. Spotter selective coloring. And it's usually done with flowers. It's usually like a bridesmaid or someone in the party or someone holding flowers, and it's just a yellow flower in black and white. It's just like, no, what are you doing? Stop. And that is in someone's portfolio, but that's a huge thing, you know, that a lot of people like. I talk clients out of it. I say, this is my work. I remember I had this one client I had spent $1,000 on these red heels. Whatever. Hey, it's your freaking wedding. Awesome. You want to wear it? Totally cool. But she's like, can I just get the red part? Just the color. I'm like, I can do that, but here's a different option. And then I showed her another detail shot that I had before, and she goes, okay, I like that kind of better. So it's just like, you have to learn how to walk around that and suggest something better. So
a million times. Like, there's only ultra select few times where selective colorization enhances a photo. Maybe I've done one where it was an awesome black and white portrait. We just kept in a little bit of color in her eyes, and it was done so subtly that everyone's like, oh, boom, what is that? Oh my god, it's her eyes. Yeah, awesome, amazing, fantastic. I've seen somebody doing it with like a telephone box in London. We've got red telephone boxes in London, and it just enhanced the photo in some sort of way. But for weddings, just no. Just don't, like, desaturate and maybe just slightly bring in a little bit of something, absolutely fine. But to go black and white, oh, there's some flowers, you're like, oh.
Because you're taking the focus off of the subject, off the couple, and you're putting it on a freaking flower petal.
And it's usually done so badly.
So bad.
Well.
Yep.
It's usually like, I can actually still see, like, green and red and purple of other shit around the stuff. Oh, yeah. That's an awesome one. That's good. Yeah, so I still think a prize should be given to whatever photographer can do selective colorization for a wedding and make it good. It's like they win the Nobel Prize in photography if they can do that, and people go, that's a good selective colorization in a wedding photo. Well done. That looks great.
I've never heard it.
It will never happen whatsoever. Another thing which I would say, apart from that's kind of more of an editing side, is one of the things that annoys me about wedding photography is, okay, so I'm going back to the group shot here, and that is I was shooting a wedding just the other week, and it's like, okay, I put a lot of effort into ushering people into the way, like, right, you go that way, get into a nicer shaped circle instead of being like an oblong kind of weird going around the corner. I'm like, no, get in, and I drag people around, I move them all around, so spend a good while getting people in position. Take the photo, you're like, right, bride and groom, right, that's good, fantastic. And then, like, 3 days later, you go, oh, why is my bridesmaid 4 rows behind? You kind of go, why the fuck did the bridesmaid not think about being right beside the bride? Or why is your mum and dad at the very back of this giant group of 300 people? Why did your mum and dad not think, hey, we're kind of important, we should maybe be at the front here? So that's less about photography, more just going, people, it's your children's wedding, it's your best friend's wedding, it's your sister's wedding, be at the front.
In which you're flipping the bill for, too.
Yeah, and instead it's some, like, random third friend from their work that lives in the basement of their company that's right beside them at the front going, yay! You're like, what? Why are they there? But as the photographer, I don't know them. I don't know we should be there. And that's where sometimes I think the wedding group should take some responsibility of going, oh, it's a group photo. It's not like suddenly it's a surprise. Oh, there's a group photo. I've never been to a wedding where there's a group photo. It's like, no, there's a group photo at every wedding. How about, hi, I'm the bride's father. I'm going to stand beside the bride. Yeah, kind of thing. But instead, you're like, they're 5 rows behind. Just kind of go, did you think that was a good place? Did you think
something?
Oh yeah. So that's my little rant there. But that's not about the photographer or about the bride and groom. That's just
It's about weddings. That's all.
People there.
And I guess one of my last things, and this has literally happened, I think 90% of the weddings I've been at, if not almost every one, which would be that percentage anyway, would be the limo drivers and makeup persons being late as shit. They are always late. They are always, I swear, like limo driver, 30 minutes late. And once again, you could be like, oh, well, yeah, but that's just, that could just be the company. Yeah, but I've experienced this multiple times. Or, these people hold up the wedding. We've started a wedding ceremony, the actual ceremony, almost an hour late one time. Now, this might seem like minimal, like, oh, only 15, 30 minutes late. As I said, we are the time organizers for the most part. We can do what we can. But when your makeup person when the makeup person who's not hired by me, or if it is, they would be there on time. I've only had to hire someone once. Usually it's a friend of a friend to the bride or whatever, whoever, someone they trust. But when they're 20 minutes late, that is a big deal. So it's all that kind of stuff that annoys me. It's just like if the limo driver isn't there to pick up the bride, because the bride and groom typically won't get in the same limo, that's a big deal.
Whoa, I've never experienced that.
It's constant. It is so constant. It's horrible. And it's not usually both of them that are late. It's one or the other. The makeup person would usually be on time, but it's usually the limo driver who's coming from another job from an hour away or something like that who's late. And he's just like, yeah, I got caught up in traffic. But it's just like, the wedding starts in a half an hour. We're not even there. We didn't do any of the shots yet or anything.
And that screws up so much
everything.
Time for you to organize so much stuff afterwards.
But that's when you have to know that there's as a photographer, what I like to do is like, and now I'm just kind of giving tips, is I will send my second shooter there so that they can go get, like you said, like all the details and all that kind of stuff. Even though I would kind of like to get them first too, but I trust my second photographer to get some of the stuff.
Yeah.
It's better than having nothing.
Yeah.
Because you're stuck there, something like that. And as the first shooter, you want to be with the bride and the groom are the two most important people there of the day. Essentially, just the bride is the most important person.
Groom is of no importance. 1% importance. Bride 99%. Yes.
Yeah, and it's just that stuff where you have to learn. And we'll kind of go back to the first thing we talked about: how to bounce back and how to improvise on the spot. But yeah, makeup artists, limos, and the timing is just meh. I don't know. I've experienced that a lot. Almost every wedding I did.
Wow, maybe that's an American thing, but I think in the UK or certainly in Scotland where I've done my weddings, that would be some serious ass kicking and firing and going, oh, you weren't here. I got my cousin to do it and said, go fuck yourself. We're not paying for your shitty mascara kind of shit.
Yeah, but everything's already paid for beforehand, essentially, for the most part.
Right. Okay. Tough.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
And what are you going to tell the limo driver? No, I don't want you now when you got to get to the wedding?
Yeah. Or drive faster, and then he's like doing like hairpin bends at like 90 miles an hour. You're like, bit of a danger there. Tough one.
That's a big one.
Yeah. I wouldn't like to be in that situation, having to like A, shout at the limo driver, and B, shout at everyone going, we need to hurry this up so I can get some... Because that's the thing about wedding photography, is that a lot of the time everyone thinks, oh, it's all about the bride. No, it's about the photographer getting the photos of the bride.
And coordinating if you're with someone who does video. If they want to do video and photography, you have to learn how to coincide so you are not in each other's freaking shots.
Oh, that is like super skills to have of just don't fuck off the videographer. And especially when you have cameras that have specialized quiet modes that sound about like this. Oh, nice and quiet. So if you are going, I just stand beside the videographer and take a photo nice and quietly, and all throughout the whole ceremony, all you hear is click, 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 click. Like, sorry about that, dude. So I shot one wedding where...
Yeah, but they know. Typically it's overlaid with video with no sound.
Yeah, or they can cut out those tiny bit. But I shot one where a guest of the bride and groom. I was doing kind of half photos, half videos, and while I was doing the videos, somebody in the church aisle had their camera on, and it had the beep when it had focus.
Oh,
so it was like,
that's horrible.
Imagine a giant church echoes. So if you go, it's like echoes all the way around, all the way around, and this person going, beep, kick, 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 beep, beep, kick, 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 kick. You're like, oh my god! It was getting on everyone's tits. It was unreal. So yeah, if you're doing weddings, turn off the autofocus confirmation beep. Otherwise, you may get stabbed in a Scottish wedding. That is a high chance of death if you have an auto.
The knife from the kilt, right?
Yeah. Bang! Stab it. We call it the kilt, the knife which all Scottish people, we have a kilt, and in our sock we have a thing called a skiing do, which is a knife effectively there to kill people. So if you have an annoying photographer, you take the skiing do out of your sock and just stab it right in their heart. And
it's a dark history lesson we turned into, folks.
Yeah, that Scottish weddings are like a life or death situation.
Let me just write this down. Will not shoot Scottish wedding.
Yeah. Guys in kilts have knives in their sock and they are happy to murder. Bit of a danger. I'm so putting that as my intro to this video.
That's fine. I don't know. I just have one last one, and this is just a thing overall, and then I'm kind of out of points because those are the huge ones. And that's these reception halls, or most places that are mainly for weddings, that they have black ceilings. I just want to like punch them in the face. Like black tiled ceilings or really nice dark ceilings. That helps nobody. That absolutely helps nothing, and it looks horrible. That's just my complaint in that. It's just like, if you are primarily a place that functions for weddings, you know what people need. Even if they're high ceilings, which are another thing that you should learn to deal with. No, not dark areas. That's just not good.
Like,
and have some windows.
That's not something I've dealt with before. I've been in one where they've had the full, not curtains, but like a fabric all over the whole place. And that was... But they only had that over the dance area. Okay. They didn't have it over the whole place. So that's something which I've not experienced before. So you're saying like a couple of wedding venues have black ceilings?
Black ceilings. Yeah. Really? High black ceilings. I just wanted to punch the owner in the face at that point. I'm like, what do you do here?
I bounce on?
You're at 1-to-1 flash. I mean, essentially, this one place I had black ceilings, was probably a medium height ceiling, and there was like hardly, and this was more towards the reception part of it, which is still difficult, and there was like no windows. It's just like, what am I going to get usable here?
Thank God you're not doing video as well, because imagine ISO 1,000,000. Oh no, it's still dark.
Well, I've done that as well. Like, I'll do video for friends. I'm not fully comfortable doing video for weddings professionally 100%, but I've done a couple for friends where it was almost the same thing. You know, they did have windows, but when it's 10 at night, there's no light, and I have this little like light panel thing that is not the brightest, but it's just like you're pushing everything. And I didn't have to edit this, thankfully. You know, I just kind of did it like for him. He goes, "Oh, I'll edit it." I'm like, totally fine. Have fun with it. I don't even know how the hell that came out. But that's just another thing to me. It's just like, if you're a wedding venue, and this place wasn't a cheap place either, from what I know.
Yeah.
Cater to the profession.
Yeah.
So that's just my little thing.
Cool. Right. Okay. We'll wrap that one up there. But do you know what? I'm drunk. I'm kind of horny. So how about, Eric, we do another one, but we'll do it on your channel from here. So
photography. Photography.
If we have to. Okay, so so we've been on my channel, gone to Eric's channel, come back to my channel. Let's go back to Eric's channel now. So everyone, click the link down below or somewhere in this thing, and we'll go to Eric's channel, and we're gonna go on. But I'm gonna go get some more gin and some more juice, because this is where it's getting good. Because I'm so, like, look at those ears, look at those ears. Those are drunk ears. Those are drunk ears. So, yeah. So let the
we're gonna have fun with this
begin. One. Right. Okay, Eric, say goodbye. Say goodbye to everyone.
Bye, everyone. Come to my channel. We're gonna talk about Nikon advertising.
Cool. Ah, I'll see you all later. Bye. Ah.